Hey, I'm David Victorson, author and storyteller. The stories that I tell reflect my own life, whether it's the inner city streets of Boston and how I grew up, whether it's traveling around the jungles of Colombia, the mountains of Nepal, or the extreme behaviors that led me into the cages of prison, both in Bolivia and the US, from heroin addiction to the corporate boardroom. In my life, street survival skills led me to extreme high-risk behaviors. Whether it was in the black market, where I organized an empire that smuggled 250 tons of marijuana from Colombia to the United States over a 10-year period, or whether it was in the white market, where starting at $6.50 an hour after getting out of prison, I was able to build a healthcare company that sold for $96 million 15 years later. Currently, I'm developing School'em, which is a program that takes street survival skills and turns them into legal business enterprise. That way, we can help reduce violence and crime in neighborhoods and turn kids who are considered incorrigible into productive members of society. How is it that poverty, state of people being impoverished, can make other people wealthy? The way that works is through the criminal justice system, because what we have is a thriving Bureau of Prisons and private prison industrial complex that needs clients. I was recently interviewed for a program on Vice where I was talking about the effect poverty has on inner city kids and how it creates an environment where crime is the only way to survive and you end up in prison.
To get some insight on what other dangerous dope runners face, I'm meeting up with David Victorson, a legendary smuggler who in the 1970s moved boatloads of weed into the United States. Hey, David, hop on in.
At the Art of the Hustle in New York City, I spoke to young entrepreneurs, where I talked to them about how to turn their dreams into business realities and keeping in mind that they have to be socially conscious while they do that. People that are hungry need to know how to make money so they can eat, and that's their first priority. So if you were to say, like, you take some drug dealer on the street right now, like say in Anacostia, we live in DC, right? He's standing there. What does he have? He has a supply, and he knows there's a demand. He knows what it cost him to buy, and he knows what he's going to make as a profit to sell. He knows how to collect his money. So basically, he's got a little business going. He understands buy, sell, cash in, cash out. And that's the beginning of any sound business. So if you can take drugs out of there and give them something legal to sell and show them how that works, then those guys are going to be interested to learn to know more. Just that's what interested me, to learn to know more, to see it actually working. Not talking about it, not seeing other people do it, but let them do it. Build models for these kids and give them something else to sell besides drugs. And I think you'll find that they'll be very good as little capitalists. Yeah. At cannabis conventions, I'm mostly known for speaking about social responsibility in an emerging market. And finally, at American University, talking about the war on drugs and the prison industrial complex, I shared my own personal experiences as someone who was involved in the war on drugs and who's been a part of the prison industrial complex as a prisoner. Stories about my life have been published in the Seattle Times, the San Francisco Chronicle, the Dallas Texas Monthly, Huffington Post, and Playboy magazine, among others. I understand success, I understand struggle, I understand survival, and that's what I hope I pass on to my audiences, to inspire them and captivate them so that when they leave one of my engagements, they leave with a sense of hope and optimism. Thank you very much for taking the time and considering me as a speaker for your next event.